Here we are on location once again at the Quick Start Real Estate School for the month of November in Houston, Texas. Give us a hee-haw. 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 So I'm here with Ron LeGrand and the infamous Wolf couple for this week's Ask Ron questions. Question number 1 is from Adam in Oklahoma. How do we determine how much to raise the price? Is there a general rule? For example, raise it 10% of the ARV or always tack on $15,000. I just signed my first kitchen table subject to purchase and sales agreement last week. We close on Wednesday. I'm about to start advertising it. ARV is $144,000. Asking loan balance is $118,000, no down, $1,000 per month, PITI. I plan on asking $160,000. Is that good? The highest comp is $156,000.
Okay. Actually, I think that's greedy. It should be $159,900.
Yes. Very close.
I knew you were going to say that.
That's
Very, very close.
Yeah, at $159,900, assuming now the house is in good condition. And to answer your question, it depends on the value of the house. Okay, depends on the heat of the neighborhood, the heat of the market. The hotter it is, the more I can raise it within a reason. But I think you're okay. And by the way, there's no 144 ARV. Either 145 or 150. All right, so $159,900 is not too much on a lease purchase.
But congratulations on your subject to
like
no money down deal. Sounds like a good monthly. And
I will tell you that we sometimes, just because this is very influential in the marketplace, as much as it may be incorrect, the Zestimate sometimes plays into your pricing a little bit. So even if you think it's worth $160, but the Zestimate says $145, you might be a little more sensitive to that.
Well, I sure hope you're not using the Zestimate.
Well, no.
That is fake news. That has nothing to do with the value of the property.
That's right, but a lot of people will look at that and go by that, so you got to know that.
Okay. Question number 2 is from Bill in Mississippi.
hey, Bill.
When the deed has transferred to me, a wrap, and say that I later get out of the deal and have to give the house back to seller, does the attorney have to create a deed back to the seller? How is the seller protected here? I'm confused.
You're confusing me. The first question is why you want to give it back to the seller. There's probably a better solution than that. But if you do give it back to the seller, then there has to be a deed created, and it can be either your attorney or their attorney. And honestly, I'd let them pay the cost. Now, I don't know the rest of the story, or you haven't told me the rest of the story. If you didn't do what you said you were going to do, you probably should pay the cost yourself. But somebody's got to pay the closing cost to give it back to the seller. And yes, it is a deed.
Okay.
Well, now, wait a minute, though. If you bought it in a land trust, and it's in a trust now, you literally can assign the trust to the seller. And you don't even have to pay the closing cost.
Okay. The next question is from Andre in Florida.
Andre.
My seller's house is free and clear. Where should I take them to get their house refinanced and get the best options? ARV is about $800,000. Asking is $788,000. Willing to owner finance and agree for us to take over payments for 5 years with nothing down.
Okay, so they're basically having the seller go out, pull out the money, because it's a free and clear house. So you want the seller to go out and refinance it, pull it out, and we'll take over that new debt.
No.
Is that what
he said? He said he's paying $788,000 for an $800,000 house.
No.
That's what he said.
He said that they are going to go refinance it.
But he said the asking is $788,000. He didn't tell us what he's paying.
Yeah.
Yes, they can go refinance it for 80% without all the cash. And if I was you, I'd try to buy it for that.
Yeah.
Nowhere near $788,000 if it's only worth $800,000. Nothing down or not. I got a lot of free equity I can get with this house, or I wouldn't have any interest in it. So you got to get that price way down, even if they do go refinance it.
But the seller does need to have good credit.
I'm certain they probably know that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that is a strategy. Don't forget, if you do have a free and clear house and you have a motivated, willing seller who would be willing to go get a refinance loan, then you can take that over subject to or with a wrap.
Not subject to.
I know,
Well,
you know,
a
like
wrap.
subject to
Do it a
wrap.
wrap. Yeah.
How is the wrap?
Okay, so the next question is from Randy in Massachusetts.
Randy.
When filling out the lead property sheet, if the seller gives all the important information in the star sections of the form, but they don't want to own or finance or have you take over the mortgage, they also don't want a lease option, would you still try to put it together with a loan from a private lender if there was equity in the house, or walk away?
Oh my.
I'd fold it up and make a paper airplane out of it and glide it right into the trash can.
And on to the next.
Equity, God, listen to me. If I were you, I'd get into training, because frankly, you're so far off base, you scare me. You don't use private money in the pretty house business. You can't borrow that much private money. And if they don't want to do anything, they want all cash, you got to buy it way down here. We don't pay cash for houses unless we get them at deeply discounted wholesale prices. And you can't make chicken salad out of chicken shit.
You have a shirt like that.
I do.
Okay, we got that settled.
Good.
The next and final question.
Kind of brutal, wasn't it?
Yeah, what?
Yeah, but we're
working all day.
But it's the
late
T-shirt.
for dinner.
It's the T-shirt that got it all going. It's the fault. So the final question is from Benjamin in Florida.
Hi, Benjamin.
I was at your recent Saturday event in Jacksonville. I want to do a subject to or axed or sandwich lease option as soon as possible. How much money do I need to make it happen? Earnest money to seller, attorney closing fees, land trust fees, closing costs. What does it all run normally, and how can I save on these expenses?
Do you live in, did you say lived in Florida?
Yes.
Yes.
He's in Jacksonville.
All right.
He didn't say Jacksonville. He's in
Well, he was
Florida.
at the fast track.
All right. Well, assuming you live in Florida, if you're going to take title, $7 per thousand for dock stamps, which is transfer fees, if you're paying it. And it's $5.20 a thousand for the amount of a wraparound mortgage if you buy it on a wrap. It's $12.20 right there per thousand, plus your attorney's fees, $400 or $500, and your title search, which is maybe $100 if you buy it. Now, if you lease option it, you have zero cost, none, because you're not buying it, you're just leasing it with an option to buy. You mentioned some kind of a trust fee. There are no fees with a trust, so I don't know what that is. So the answer is, if you buy it, those are your costs. If you lease option it, you have no cost, other than a title search.
Yeah, and if you're very sensitive to costs up front, that's an option, is do it through a lease purchase. And if you live in Maryland or some of these states that have...
No, he lives in Florida.
I know, but if people have high transfer
tax,
taxes,
exercise.
don't want to pay it, that's the other option.
I like your jacket, Ron.
Got that in Europe.
Okay, well, this is Ask Ron. We're finishing up Ask Ron. Guys, over here, Ask Ron.
right.
So let's do some final signing off.
Okay.
Coming to the
All right. See you guys next week. We'll get some deals done. You're running out of here.
And come to the Quick Start.